Friendly's operates as a family dining establishment concentrated mainly in America's northeastern region. While the chain has occasionally expanded westward into Ohio and southward to Florida, it remains fundamentally recognized as a quintessential New England institution. Nearly everyone raised in this area knows Friendly's intimately and can share memories about the brand, the distinctive red and white branding, the traditionally warm atmosphere, and their diverse offerings ranging from morning meals and burgers to sandwiches, seafood, and their signature frozen desserts. With more than 20 distinct flavors available in every imaginable form, they're particularly famous for a milkshake variant called the Fribble. This distinctive name emerged from a 1960s promotional competition, and the company maintains it represents the richest, most delicious milkshake available anywhere. I regret if this description has sparked your desire to visit a Friendly's location and sample a Fribble yourself, because doing so has become increasingly challenging. Honestly, I cannot predict with certainty how much longer they'll remain operational, as Friendly's has experienced severe difficulties. The company declared bankruptcy in 2011, followed by another bankruptcy filing in 2020. Two bankruptcy proceedings within 10 years clearly signals serious problems, though their troubles actually extend much further back. Their decline has been relatively steady over approximately 3 to 4 decades. The chain reached its zenith in 1988, operating 850 locations, but has subsequently shuttered all except 130 establishments. The natural question becomes, how can a restaurant serving what they claim is the world's best milkshake face such profound challenges? That's precisely what I'll explain. The beginning, the Blake brothers, 1935 to 1979. The restaurant's history spans nearly 90 years across 5 different ownership periods. I'll examine Friendly's trajectory by exploring how each owner influenced the brand. Everything began in 1935 with co-founders Curtis and Presley Blake, Massachusetts brothers aged 18 and 20, seeking employment and career opportunities during the Great Depression. Unable to find traditional jobs, they secured a $547 loan from their parents to launch a modest ice cream parlor in Springfield named Friendly Ice Cream. While this seems ordinary today, ice cream shops weren't particularly common then, predating Dairy Queen and Baskin-Robbins. Their primary competition came from drugstore soda fountains selling ice cream cones for 5 cents. The Blake brothers strategically matched that price, but provided double scoops. This approach reduced profit margins, but increased volume significantly, as this 2-for-1 value proposition proved extremely appealing during Depression-era economics. Their opening day saw over 500 cone sales with customers queuing outside. Within 5 years, they accumulated sufficient capital for a second Friendly ice cream location. This new restaurant introduced hamburgers to maintain winter customer traffic. Both locations temporarily closed during World War II, while Curtis served in the military and Presley contributed to domestic war efforts. But they resumed operations afterward and continued expanding throughout subsequent decades, progressively enlarging their menu. By the late 1970s, they operated over 600 restaurants across 16 states. Though opening 600 locations might appear aggressive, this occurred over 44 years while Friendly's maintained strong performance as a beloved family restaurant. The Blake brothers consistently prioritized customer experience, deliberately cultivating a welcoming atmosphere, hence the name. According to Presley, they were two affable individuals wanting their establishment to embody friendliness. For instance, they offered free replacements when customers dropped their cones. They never franchised, maintaining direct control to ensure quality standards. They excelled at cost management, initially operating without employees, with one brother producing ice cream while the other handled customer service. They largely avoided debt by reinvesting profits, never extracting more than $50,000 annually for personal salaries. Friendly Ice Cream during this era exemplified patience and dedication. The Blake brothers had methodically constructed a stable enterprise now valued in the millions. Quick favor before we dive deeper: if you are enjoying this deep dive into the company's documentary, please like and subscribe. The Hershey era, 1979 to 1988. This brings us to the second owner, Hershey, the chocolate manufacturer famous for their candy bars. Throughout the 1970s, volatile sugar and cocoa prices prompted Hershey to seek business stability through diversification. having already acquired pasta companies among others. Their most significant diversification move came in 1979 when they purchased Friendly Ice Cream for $164 million. This seemed logical. Hershey had just launched Reese's Pieces the previous year, creating excellent cross-promotional opportunities when they began offering it as an ice cream topping alongside other Hershey products. Hershey also leveraged existing relationships and distribution networks to introduce Friendly ice cream products in New England supermarkets. As a large corporation, they possessed resources to expand more rapidly than Friendly ever had, even acquiring smaller regional chains and converting them to Friendly locations, more than doubling sales within a decade. The chain was larger than ever, but arguably less stable. In 1987, despite rising revenue, profits declined for the first time. They attributed this to labor shortages and intensified competition. But the underlying issue was clear. Despite operating more locations, they were attracting fewer customers, a critical problem. I view that initial decline as the first warning sign. The following year, Hershey decided to refocus on consumer foods, selling the restaurant business to an investment group led by Donald N. Smith. The Donald Smith period, 1988 to 2007. You might not recognize that name, but Donald Smith is essentially an industry legend. During the 1970s, he served as McDonald's chief operating officer, instrumental in launching their breakfast menu. He subsequently became Burger King CEO, nearly doubling their profits during his 3-year tenure. He then joined PepsiCo's restaurant division, partially responsible for introducing their famous personal pan pizza. In 1985, he helped establish the Tennessee Restaurant Company to invest in various restaurant chains, stating they sought companies with strong reputations needing repositioning to realize their full potential. Their first acquisition was Perkins Family Restaurants, a 330-location chain and direct competitor, followed by the 850-location Friendly ice cream chain in a leveraged buyout, requiring substantial borrowing to cover the $375 million purchase price. Problems were already evident. Hershey had left Friendly vulnerable, now compounded by significant debt. Donald Smith made several promising revival attempts. He immediately renamed it from Friendly Ice Cream to simply Friendly's, reflecting common usage. He expanded ice cream sales to thousands of supermarkets, an initiative Hershey had tested but never fully implemented. He also attempted elevating Friendly's reputation by renovating most restaurants, closing underperforming older locations, and introducing steak and premium menu items. These efforts failed to reverse the decline. By 1997, expanding competitors like Olive Garden and Outback Steakhouse complicated matters, while they still carried nearly $400 million in debt requiring reduction. The combination of declining sales and interest expenses resulted in annual losses. To address this, they conducted a public stock offering, selling company shares for $90 million to pay down debt and restructured remaining debt through bonds. Things deteriorated further. Within 3 years, Friendly stock plummeted from $26 to nearly $2. Presley Blake's return, late 1990s, early 2000s. Here's where the story becomes remarkable. Co-founder Presley Blake, then approaching 90 years old, dramatically re-entered the picture. His brother Curtis disapproved, causing family friction, but Presley remained determined. He had never emotionally released the company he'd built. Understandably, given his lifelong dedication, he was disappointed by Donald Smith's direction, disliking debt financing, restaurant closures, and franchising to service debt, the upscale approach alienating blue-collar customers, and perceived management favoritism toward Perkins over Friendly's. When his stock price crashed, he capitalized by purchasing approximately 900,000 shares for $2 million, representing about 12% of the company, becoming the largest individual shareholder. He also filed a lawsuit alleging $3.5 million misuse involving Smith's corporate jet travel. Presley even offered a $50 million personal loan contingent on Smith's resignation and repayment of the alleged $3.5 million. While this never materialized, seemingly due to pressure from Presley and other investors, Friendly's was sold in 2007. Sun Capital Partners, 2007 to 2020. Sun Capital Partners acquired it for $337 million, continuing to close locations through the recession, which obviously didn't help. By 2011, they could no longer manage their debt and file bankruptcy, but emerged with ambitious plans. They hired John McGuire, Panera's former chief operating officer, who implemented a turnaround strategy, essentially returning to fundamentals. Simplified menu, lower prices, improved service, cleaner restaurants, targeting a narrower customer base, but serving them better. The effectiveness of these efforts remains highly questionable, given Friendly's continued contraction, closing most remaining restaurants in the decade following that first bankruptcy. In 2016, they even sold their retail ice cream business to Dean Foods to concentrate on restaurants. But Dean Foods itself declared bankruptcy 3 years later. Trouble everywhere. McGuire departed in 2018, and in 2020, they entered their second bankruptcy. They claimed strong brand reinvigoration efforts, but then the pandemic allegedly derailed everything. Amici Partners Group, 2020 present. Through bankruptcy, they were acquired finally by Amici Partners Group for merely $2 million. Imagine that. An iconic franchise like Friendly selling for $2 million, maintaining less than 1% of their value compared to their sale 14 years earlier. I don't have much to say about this current phase. The new owners introduced the Sweet Rewards program among other initiatives. But after falling so dramatically, you must question whether significant remaining potential exists for this once iconic brand. Let me know in the comments. What you envision for Friendly's future? Can they recover and restore their New England presence as a regional favorite? Or perhaps even expand nationally someday? Or has that opportunity passed? Returning to the beginning. If you're genuinely craving that fribble, though it might be challenging, you may want to make the effort to find one of those remaining Friendly's locations, because it's unclear how long they'll survive. Can you imagine a world without fribbles? I just enjoy saying that word. I should mention that the Blake brothers reconciled following their disagreements, and both lived past 100 years old. Presley Blake passed away in 2021 at age 106. Quite impressive. Finally, I'd like to ask anyone who's visited Friendly's over the years, what has your experience been and how has it evolved? Is it better or worse? Would you be saddened by their disappearance? Share any thoughts about Friendly's in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for watching.